Hello students, welcome back to class. Today we're going to be talking about something a little different today. I realized that a lot of my lessons don't really go over a lot of history of D&D, so I thought I'd add something new into the curriculum. Today we're going to be talking about the most powerful kobold, creature ever created in D&D history. Now, personally, I think these scaly pricks are already terrifying to begin with, but look into my eyes, and you will see that this little lizard is so much more than the gold-grabbing gremlins you all know and love. This story takes place way back in the yesteryears of D&D 3e. During the ages of 3rd edition, there were a lot of new content coming to the game since Wizards of the Coast just bought D&D and wanted to put their own spin on the system. A big part of this new content were splat books, which was a group of around 50 or so books covering the ideas that haven't been introduced into the main rules yet. Listen, Wizards of the Coast, do you think you may have gone a little bit ahead of yourself? Look what you created! And surprising no one, these books gave the demons over at r/optimization annihilation a lot to work with when creating their own Frankenstein monster, destroyer of worlds, and damage roller of 20d20s. However, a very specific deranged man by the name of Khan the Destroyer posted a thread simply named the most powerful character ever. And back then, there were a lot of powerful builds, so if you were a big peruser of the D&D forums, you took that claim with a grain of salt. However, sometimes the rock you're looking at can be full of gold. A lot of optimizers saw how much potential this kobold had, originally having to wait till level 12 to become a fucking plague on DMs everywhere. Working with a bunch of people with way too much time on their hands, they were able to get that number down to a modest 5? Oh shit. Now come along with me while I explain how to create the most powerful D&D character of all time. First step is to grab a character sheet and pick the race kobold. Jesus, I can't even say it. After you choose this race, become a level 1 wizard and change your base stats with a template. This was a thing in 3rd edition that was meant to give a lot more customization to the player. With the use of templates, you could turn your human into a zombie, lycanthrope, and a bunch more. Just a lot of flavoring stuff. Give Pun Pun the Divine Minion template. This gives us the ability to wild shape as if we were a druid of 11th level, which is already so good. I wish templates were in 5e, Jesus. Take the endurance feat for being a level 1 wizard and grab a Viper Familiar. Once you hit level 2, you're going to instead level in something called a prestige class, which was like the main way people had to customize their characters in 3rd edition. They had a lot of really cool abilities, but you had to meet certain requirements to take a level in a prestige class. It was super cool. I recommend going and looking at them. Take a level in the Master of Many Forms, which specializes in wild shaping. The requirements to be a Master of Many Forms is the Endurance feat, the ability to wild shape, and the Alertness feat. Now I hear you, Professor Failure. We have everything else but the Alertness feat. We can't take the class. Well, you shit stain on society, I'll tell you. As long as our familiar is within arm's reach of us, we have the Alertness feat, which is pretty much all the time, so yeah, we're fine. After that, just go around massacring everything in sight until you reach level 5, taking 3 levels of Master of Many Forms. Now buckle up, because this is where things go from good to a game of imagination on an elementary school playing ground where you just make shit up as you go along. When you get to level 3 in Master of Many Forms, you gain the ability to transform into monstrous humanoids, which is the key to this entire build. Use your new abilities to transform into a Saruk. The Saruk are ancient creatures from the Forgotten Realms that created a lot of the lizard races that we know today, but fuck that, because all we want is the ability to manipulate form. Manipulate form is an ability that allows the Saruk to give abilities to creatures called Scaled Ones. Now, we cannot give ourselves this ability because manipulate form doesn't work on ourselves, but we can give it to our Viper Familiar. Once you do that, just turn back into your kobold self and have your Viper friend give you the ability manipulate form, since kobolds are classified as Scaled Ones. Now that we can use manipulate form as a kobold, we can use manipulate form on ourselves since we aren't a Saruk, and give ourselves any ability in the game. You can take any ability you want, just look through all the books and find the things that you like, or fuck it, just grab every ability that you can think of and make yourself immune to all weapon damage and magic attacks. And in 3.5, monsters can use spells as spell-like abilities, so we can use Manipulate Form to make us cast any spell we want as a spell-like ability without using a spell slot. In other words, you're completely unstoppable. Nobody can defeat you. You have every spell in the game. You have every ability in the game. You can make your stats arbitrarily high with some spells from other books. To just simplify everything, Khan the Destroyer was right. This is the most powerful build in all of D&D history. A lot of people say that Pun Pun was never meant to be played, nor would he really be fun to play since you could pretty much do anything you want, and to those people I say speak for your fucking self. Who wouldn't want to troll their DM so hard that they commit seppuku? Like, come on, this is awesome! Okay, jokes aside, he was never meant to be played, he was just a thought exercise that a lot of people wanted to use to just see what they could do with the system. Not that a DM would ever even allow this to begin with. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed today's lesson. Use this information I've given you with a grain of salt, and I will see you all next class. Class dismissed.